Welcome everyone to Mobile Rolling, and of course last week we had a session with Wayne Jacques. Well, this week we've got part two, so straight after the break we'll come back with part two of the Jacques family history. Wayne, welcome back for part two of our family history, which we're so proud of.
Thanks for having me back, Tim.
Yeah, great to have you back. One thing that your mum and dad were astonishingly good at were the Christmas functions at Bob and Lorraine's.
Yeah, open house.
Open house.
Doesn't matter whether you're a horsey person or a person driving down Port Waiteville Road.
Yeah.
Sign up the front. Open house.
Yeah, out at Bolivar.
Yeah.
So you ended up building your house or putting your house next door on the same property. So you live close to mum and dad there at Bolivar, and with the horses as well, obviously.
That was at the age of 22, yes. Moved the house out.
How many years ago was that now?
Oh, I haven't got enough fingers on my hands.
Oh, gosh. So what's some of the fondest memories for you, Wayne, in harness racing?
My fondest memories is firstly watching my father, because I idolised him not just as a father but as a horseman. He taught me so much. He taught me all the skills of farrier working, which I used to do all my own farrier all my life and do farrier work for other people as well.
Yeah.
Just the joy of anyone winning a race and see the joy on people's faces. It was never any one specific area that sort of naturally watching Matthew develop, as I said earlier, yes, but just being involved in the sport and just being out there competing as part of it, because harness racing or trotting back then, it's one big family. That's all we knew, because you didn't have time to, you say, associate, go out or whatever. Harness racing or trotting people were your family.
It's also, you probably better say, a family of hard knocks as well, you know, because we'll speak about Matthew first. Involved in an extremely nasty accident at Gawler Harness Racing Track when we had the running rails. He got tipped out, held onto the reins, which is what Bubby taught us, don't let the horse go. But unfortunately it just dragged him into an upright and just smashed his face to pieces.
He actually had a total face reconstruction.
Yeah. I remember speaking with Rossi Sugars, who was in that race as well. He thought Matthew was dead.
He did.
He said his head just went like he was dead. But it was massive expense and massive pain that he would have had to go through, and a lot of operations as well.
A lot of operations, many weeks. Debbie and I, and back then Kylie, backwards and forwards, hospital every night and stuff. But just like when my brother back in the early days when he broke his neck, it's just that trauma. Yeah. With Terry, with Matthew getting hurt, it brought back all the memories of Terry.
Let's talk about Terry, your brother. I mean, because he had such a brilliant career ahead of him, and it was curtailed, and it wasn't in a race fault. It was in a motor vehicle accident. And tell us the story about that.
Well, just a simple accident. He was apprenticed to Bill Cutler down in Allison Street, Glenelg, Old Gumtree Road. Bart Cummins was just down the road, and I used to conduct a apprentice school midweeks at Norfolkville. Usually Matthew would walk down to the Cummings stables to go with the other apprentice jockeys. This particular night he rode down on his little Vespa little motorbike. Wasn't speeding or anything, but being a narrow street, he turned into a street as a car was cutting the corner coming out, hit head on, tumbled over the car. No marks or scratches on him, but he cracked his neck in the V of the gutter and he became a paraplegic.
Yeah. And then the amazing part of that story, I believe, I'm not sure the time frame, but I think 3 months before the season.
It happened in April that season. Because the thoroughbreds were end of August. He had that many winners at that time. He still took out the leading apprentice award.
Yeah, amazing. So he had that big a lead. They had like 3 months to catch him, but he still won the apprenticeship. And I remember seeing the picture that going through his files, and there was John Letts, who was the senior jockey winner. Matt Van Streen was the jumps jockey winner, and there was Terry in his wheelchair as the apprentice winner as well.
Yeah.
And like I say, there's been a few hard knocks that you've had to witness and watch, and it's difficult. Have you ever watched a movie called Hacksaw Ridge?
I have not.
You haven't?
I have not.
I'll tell you what, you've got to watch it because it reminds me of Bobby, right? And I'll tell you why. And this is the other accident I want to talk about. And minor compared to what happened to Terry and Matthew, obviously. But Hacksaw Ridge, it's a war movie, right? And Vince Vaughn is the sergeant, and he's teaching all the troops how to do a bowline.
I'm going to teach you how to tie a bowline knot so you can get your sorry asses down from a height, so I may then kick them. Cradle loop. This is the rabbit hole. The rabbit comes out of his hole, runs around the tree, goes back into the hole. All right? Let's go.
Right, which Bobby used to call a bowline, right? Now, Bobby used to teach us, when we tie them up on the rail, we do the clovitch.
That's it.
And then when we tie them up to a pole or a ring or something like that, we do the bowline, as Bobby would pronounce it, or bowline, because if the horse hangs back, doesn't matter how hard it hangs back, you can always get the rope undone.
Exactly.
Anyway, he had his favourite horse, Ben Cobb, his stallion, and he was giving it a few jumps over a few mares. And anyway... And I think you were there too.
Was there.
You were there, yeah.
I know where this is headed.
Yeah. So anyway, basically, he's tying up, and that split second that you push the rope through to pull it out is when the mare hung back and the nylon rope gripped around his thumb. And he said, "Oh!" And he pulled his finger out, and his thumb was still there, and the bone was sticking up.
Right. we put it on ice, but it didn't work.
The thing was, you did the right thing putting it on ice. But you should have put the doctor said you should have put that in a plastic bag and then put the plastic bag in ice, because you put it directly on ice, it made it all fuzzy around the ends, and they couldn't do the skin graft.
We didn't listen to all the instructions on TV in those circumstances.
But that was something that Bobby taught us about, tying horses up. But yeah, it was amazing how, I couldn't believe how he just pulled his hand out.
I think he did it quite neat, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just took it out and without screaming or
and the bone was just sticking up at the end.
Because Dad never ever swore.
But the thing is, that just meant more work for you to help Mum with the milk round. Yeah. All right, because Bobby had this amazing ability to carry like 4 or 5 bottles in one hand, you know, one between each finger like that. But then he couldn't do that, and then with the cartons and that. But that was something that you had to get involved with on a regular occasion. If Bobby got pranged up in a race, you'd have to step up and do the milk round and help Mum out there.
That was an experience too.
Yeah. What are some of the funny things that you remember from the milk round? I know Bobby always said what happens on the milk round stays on the milk round.
I hope he's not listening. Well, 2 things happened. Back in those days, the baker had a horse and cart and so forth, and butcher, we'd swap a pint of milk for a loaf of bread, and we'd go down to the local butcher for another bottle of milk with a stick of Fritz, and Fritz on bread would be our breakfast and drink milk. Dad always taught me the technique. Every Saturday morning we used to have to collect money.
Yep.
And back in the bottle days, it was about 7 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday morning. A lot of the women used to come out with just their dressing gowns on, with their arms just wrapped across. Dad taught me to grab a bottle in each hand and hand it to them. Now, it took me several weeks before it actually worked. But Dad said, you should have seen the smile on my face. Good fun.
So just to explain this, because I know the story, the women, instead of tying up their dressing gown, they just hold it like that. So there's one there, and of course the dressing gown opens up and they get a good look. And that was Bobby's trick all the time.
I used to say that there was one particular woman, I think she just did it to keep a little bloke like me happy. I was her favourite milk boy at the time. It's a good story, that one. Good fun story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and all in good fun. What about back to the horses.
Yeah.
What are your most favourite horses that you've been involved with or driven, or given you big thrills over the years?
Watching all the good horses Dad drove naturally, but on my own, the one that we got really attached to, Debbie and I, was a trotter called Magnum Lite.
Yeah, yeah.
We trained him for a chap, Greg Jarvis at the time, and very talented trotter, but wayward, gal, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they retired him. And Debbie and I actually, after a couple of years in the paddock, I got him back ourselves. And at the time, Matthew was at Pony Club with his whatever, and his training was going to Pony Club. Me riding him over jumps and so forth. Used to run him over jumps on a Sunday, go to Kapunda and win the trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that turned him around. He had a close association with that horse. Naturally, Nevada's Maori was special to us all because he won a lot of races. And I've had so many.
I want to elaborate about Magnum Lite because I remember because he was full of talent but made mistakes at gallops. And that was what used to let him down. And Bobby had to do his feet just right, otherwise he wouldn't trot properly and all that. And Bobby knew how talented he was. We all knew how talented he was. So then Greg Jarvis decided to send him over to the Peace family in Victoria. Andrew Peace was flying at the time. But they couldn't get him to go at all. And he ended up coming back because they shot him wrong and he had to be shot a certain way. But I remember you saying, because you actually took him to Victoria for the Victorian Derby.
I drove him in the Derby.
And he bolted on you in the prelim. You couldn't stop him. And all the Victorians say, how are we going to beat this thing? It just goes too fast. But that's how explosive he was.
He was.
Yeah. But he had that problem of making mistakes and doing things wrong. Yeah. But he was a very clever horse.
He was.
He was very brainy indeed. And I saw certain things that made me realise how intelligent horses could be with a horse like him. Yeah. In regards to some of the better horses that your dad had, Bobby, what do you think were some of the best ones that give you the fondest memories?
Oh, natural. I do remember the Plain Eagle in that era, naturally, but most certainly Ben Cobb was the family favourite. Above any other horse, he was the family favourite.
I know the story about him as well because he was raced with your dad and Donnie Thomas, and they were good mates for a number of years, and it sort of caused a little split between them at that time. And I remember we went to Murray Bridge trots, and basically Bobby said to Donnie and all of us, I think you'll win today. He's going really good. And he went awful. He went disgraceful. His performance was poor. And Donnie blew up and said, come on. And they were talking about selling him to West Australia at that time, for reasonable money. I mean, back in those days, I think it was about 10K or something like that they were talking about.
Money then.
Anyway, Bobby just had enough. And he said, look, Donnie, he said, take the horse, do whatever you want. That's it. And we didn't go straight home. We went to Harndorf. We went to the Harndorf pub, and Bobby, he was drowning his sorrows because he loved the horse and he loved Donnie Thomas as a person, and they sort of half out of blue, you know what I mean? Over the horse. And it was scary coming over from Bobby's driving from Harndorf. It was really bad. But we got home, and when we got home, he said, Jimmy, he said, unpack the harness, put it in the cupboard. He said, I said, well, where are we going to put that on? He said, we'll put it on with Ben Cobb when he comes back here. He said, because I doubt anyone could get the horse going. Maybe Albie Holberton might be able to. But he knew that the horse, the way we used to train him as a stallion, would lead him behind. We wouldn't put him in the cart at all. And he'd get really fizzy like that. And you know that, he'd bite you, he'd bite me.
Pick him up out the seat.
Yeah, exactly. And he knew that anyone that worked around the back track at Globe Derby, it wouldn't work with the horse. And he worked out Ben Cobb to do that. And I remember when he got the horse back, and they ended up buying him back for $250 or something like that, some ridiculous amount. And he went to Kapunda and he won. I think it took 2 or 3 runs. I don't think he won straight away. And you could just see the smile on Bobby's face. So yeah, he was laughing as he came off. because he knew that he had the answer to that particular horse.
did,
And he went to 3 or 4 different trainers as well.
He did.
Yeah, and they couldn't get him to go. Yeah.
There are a lot of horses out there like that. Pacific trainers suit. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing that Bobby had. He had this gift to work horses out. And he was very clever. Like, he actually helped me drive my first winner, even though you and Bob gave me heaps of chances to drive a winner for you guys. I wasn't able to achieve that because something went wrong or I stuffed it up or whatever. But I remember coming home from Murray Bridge one day, and he drove a winner for Albie Holden. I forget the horse's name. I should remember it, but I can't. And you weren't with us in the car. There was someone else in the car and said, "Oh, Bobby, that thing of Albie's went easy, didn't it?" And he said, "No." He said, "The horse was flat." He said, "But you just sat there. You didn't even move on it." But that was your dad. He had the ability to know when a horse had something left or not, and he knew how to kid to horses to get them over the line. And with that in mind, I drove against that horse next week at Strathalbyn. I drove Dancing Butler. Yeah. And I know Bobby said to Albie Holden, he said, "Get rid of this horse, sell it as soon as you can. It's no good. It won't win any more races." Well, not it's no good. It won't win any more races. It's on its mark. So Albie put Jock Dunlop on to drive it at Strath. And anyway, I drove Dancing Butler for Peter Lawrence. And basically I said to Peter, "I've got to come out at the bell because I thought I'd be behind Jock on this Albie horse." He said, "What?" I said, "I've got to come off because that'll be gone come finish time." And that's exactly what happened, and we won. And he helped me. Even though I would have loved to drive a winner for you or Bobby, I couldn't achieve it, but instrumental in helping me get my first winner at Strathalbyn with Dancing Butler.
As I say, that's the ability he had, and that's the ability he passed on to us. Is one, just in a race, drive your horse and never show the opposition their weaknesses.
Yeah.
Because you'll win more races than you could ever expect by not showing their weaknesses.
Yeah.
I got 6 months on a horse, which I wasn't.
And I think it was unfair myself, but we won't go into that.
We won't go into that because stewards pegged me for not letting it run on its merits. And the following week, Matthew drove it the way the steward suggested I should have driven it, odds-on favourite, and run nearer last. Yeah. Because he just didn't show the opposition. Everyone thought she was a star, and like the one of Albie's, she wasn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Wayne, anything else we need to touch on about the sixth generation of harness family of Jake's team?
No, it's been I've loved it all my life. Love watching my son drive.
And you're out now? No more training or driving?
I don't think I'll be back. I've seen the next life out there. And Debbie and I are into meeting people, which you never got a chance to do. Actually singing at karaoke, which surprised everyone, including my general manager at work. When they saw some of the crazy things that I do, I just can't stand there and sing. I've got to dress up and do something fancy. I've dressed up as Tiny Tim, Billy Idol, In Excess with wigs on, and I've even dressed up as Blondie, singing songs because I can get the falsettos. The new life and loving it, and I still got my horse float, my racing gear and racing bike. Always got a stable option with Donnie Thomas or ever want it. But I don't know. Wait, never say never. Never say never.
Good to catch up, Wayne.
Indeed it is. All right.
There we go. There's Wayne Jacques from the Jacques family of harness racing, my cousin. And the only regret I've got, I didn't drive a winner for him, but he gave me plenty of chances. Anyway, that's it for Mobile Rolling.